Hey, we're studying Netivot Shalom, Sefer Shemot, Parashat Vayakhel. We'll do it short. It's Thursday, everybody's tired. Shabbat is coming. Shabbat Mevarchim. Rosh Chodesh Adar Bet, base, as they say here. Vayakhel Moshe et kol adat bnei Israel, right? So Moshe congregated the adat bnei Israel, the congregation, v'yomar elehem. He said, these are the words that Hashem commanded to do. 6 days, ta'aseh melacha, right? A work will be done. On the 7th day, ביום השביעי לכם קודש, שבת שבתון לשם. On the 7th day, you have a Shabbat Shabbaton, right? Like a resting day, double resting. So the Mefarshim, they asked the question, what's so significant, what's so special about Shabbat, which it says prior to that, Vayakhel Moshe et kol adat bnei Israel, that Moshe congregated, right? And we learned on Monday that adat is also da'at, it's the wisdom, it's the brain, it's the sefer. But we didn't find in other places in the Torah when Moshe is like congregating the people, and then he's starting to talk about the mitzvah. And also need to explain when it's repeated, because Shabbat was already commanded by Moshe in previous Parashat, in other places in the Torah. And also we need to explain, these are the dvarim, elu advarim asher tzivah Hashem. The words that Hashem commanded to do. What's doing? Because Shabbat mainly is preventing from doing things, right? You're not supposed to do many things on Shabbat, but here specifically to do. And then on the 7th day, you will have Kodesh, Shabbat, Shabbaton. Kol ha'oseh bo melacha yumat. And Shabbat, the 7th day, you will have like a double Shabbat, and anyone that do work will be executed. V'yesh lomar, we can say, according to what Rashi was explaining about Vayakhel Moshe, that when he congregated the Bnei Israel, that was the day after Yom Kippur, when he went down from the Mount Sinai, after the second time, after he made peace with Hashem, which was on Yom Kippur, about the sin of the golden calf. Then this parasha was told them, which is the parasha of Tshuva. And this is something that is like, I'm always like bothered with that question, because the Chachamim, they say, right, as our sages says, Lo chatu Israel ela leorot tshuva l'rabim, that the sin of Israel came to teach us that many can do tshuva. Yeah, but why would the sin of the golden calf like so big one that we're still paying until today? But that's a different question. So he said, even after the sin of the golden calf, when it says, right, chata am hazeh chata gdola, that Hashem was telling Moshe, complaining that the sin of this nation is a great big sin, and still we have some kind of an advice in the strength of the mitzvah of the Shabbat. As our sages said, kol hashomer Shabbat, right? Anyone that keeps Shabbos properly, even if he was doing idol worshipping like the generation of Enosh, which was the one that were really strong sinners, even though he will be forgiven. So the strength of the Shabbat, there is a tikkun, it's a fix, even for an idol worshipper, because the Shabbat will purify him. But it says, it seems to be, it's like, it's a great, wonderful advice from someone that is already fell and is sinking the sin. Because mitzvah Shabbat, the mitzvah of Shabbat, it's the source of love and cleaving to Hashem. Right? As it says, Kaich Sof, Noam Shabbat, Noam Neshamot, right? The pleasure of the soul. We're singing it sometimes on Shabbat. There is a beautiful song. And in the Bnei Yisachar, he brings that the Shabbat, Shin Bet Taf, its numerical value of Ahava B'chol Lev, Ahava B'chol Nefesh, Ahava B'chol Nod. That it's a love of your soul, your being, your love, your heart, etc. That's the main thing of Shabbat. So how is it possible that a Jew that did idols or something really bad, after the sin of the golden calf, will be able to elevate again to the higher level of Shabbat and to have that love and cleaving to Hashem, divine levels? And like the Rambam wrote, the Ahava Ruya, like how we should love Hashem, like to be siklav. So how is it possible that somebody that fell down from the higher level that we were during Matan Torah and went into that lower level, and now is going to be up again into a higher level of Shabbat? And he said, indeed, the tshuva for that is Vayakhel Moshe et kol adam bnei Israel, that truly an individual cannot achieve that. But many that are unite and are congregating, like Moshe was telling them, Vayakhel Moshe, bring them all together, one heart, one person, right? That will be able to achieve the level, the majority, the people together, not individual. And we learned it many times, like each day was asking, who is my mate? So Sunday have Monday, Tuesday have Wednesday, and Shabbat says, okay, I'm left alone. Hashem said, Knesset Yisrael ben zugech. We are going to be the mate. Which means when the Jews are sitting together and congregating in Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, that's a unity of the hearts. Then we became the mate of Shabbat. And the strength of the Shabbat, plus the majority, the unity of the Jews, even if they did sins like the generation of Enosh, which is idol worshipping, the Shabbat will be able to forgive us. And here he said, the Maran HaKadosh Mikovrin Zechuto HaGalon, he said, Techila leMikrei Kodesh, that the beginning of Mikrei Kodesh, what is the beginning of calling into the holiness? If a Jew want to be called to the Gedusha, he needs to sanctify himself. He needs to start from Shabbat. Because the strength of the Shabbat helping us to purify ourselves and to sanctify ourselves and to go out, to extract ourselves from all the situation. As says the Maran Admor Mora Shaddai, he said on the pasuk from Mishlei, which is the Eshet Chayil that we say every Friday night, right? Shabbat night, he says, V'chagor natna lakna'ani. So literally you can explain or understand, it's like she gave the Knaani, a certain type of people of a nation, she gave him like a belt. Right? We say, V'chagor natna lakna'ani. So he said, the Mizmor Eshet Chayil, it's all about Shabbat. And the Shabbat is actually handing out a chagor, like a life vest to us, which we like the Knaani, which means like we seen like what they did in Canaan. And it's an analogy. Somebody that is drowning, and somebody is handing him a life vest or a rope. So as long as he's holding the rope, he have life. He giving away the rope or the life vest, he's drowned. That's it. He will drown. She said the Segula of the Shabbat is to save us from all the situation, even if we are sinking into the juice of the garbage bin. So he said, so after the sin, a Jew individual cannot achieve that level of Shabbat only with the Rabbi, with the majority, with the unity. Very important to be together, not at home alone. And he said only when, after Egypt, when we were in the 49 level of Tuma, after 50 days of leaving Egypt, going to the Mount Sinai and receiving the Torah, only then we were like one heart, one person. Then we will be able to receive the Torah. And he said it's also hinted in the Lashon, in the Zemer, in the song, Ka'ech Sof, that Shabbat Kodesh nafshi cholat avatecha, Shabbat Kodesh nefashot Israel betzel knafecha yachsuyun. So if you want to know better, take the bencher and look at the song and look at the word and the translation. So he said there are two levels here. Shabbat Kodesh, nafshi cholat avatecha, that my soul have a love sick, which this is actually the highest level. Befrinat kodem achet, before the sin, my soul have a lovesick, and therefore it says as individual. And then it says Shabbat Kodesh nefashot Israel, that Shabbat Kodesh, the souls in plural of Israel, are under the shadow of your wings. And that's a hint about the Shabbos after the sin. That yes, they are under the shadow of the wing, but then it says in plural, because after the sin, individual cannot achieve that. So and we said it before, that like the Mishkan and the sacrifices and many things were not supposed to happen. It came only after the sin. Before the sin, we were in a different level, and there was supposed to be a different plan, a different path or way to serve Hashem. But after the sin, many things were added. The Mishkan types and sizes, etc., and other vessels, because the vessels were now needed for the korbanot, which many of them were not supposed to have, etc. So before the sin and after the sin. And this is the explanation. Vayakhel Moshe et kol adam bnei Israel, ve'omar elem, and we told them, these are the words that Hashem commanded to do. With these things, Vayakhel, to congregate, to be together. Hashem commanded you to be together. And this is the tzivui al asiyah, and that's the advice that Hashem gave us after the sin of the golden calf. To be together, to unite. And this is, for example, also the inyan of Pesach, right? It seems to be like so far away, but actually it's not. It's like, 47 days or something? Unbelievable, huh? So that's the thing of Pesach, which the korban, the sacrifice of Pesach, nechal bechavura. Right? You say chabura, but it's supposed to be chavura. And we didn't find in other sacrifices that you have to eat together with a group. But in Korban Pesach, because Pesach is a dilug, is like skipping. It's a skipping from a situation or a status from 49 level of Tuma to be able to receive the Torah, which is a big leap. So when a Jew is sink in the 49 level of Tuma, what's the advice? Eat the Pesach in together in the Chavura. But he says not only in Chavura Chitzonit, not just an external group of people, but also an internal one, which like Jews that have a common things together with us, learning Torah, davening, going to shul, being part of a kehila, etc. And therefore, our sages were explaining us and teaching us about why is it so important of Shevet Achim Yachad b'Shabbat, that we have to sit together on Shabbos. At Shemaran Admor Baal Bet Avraham Zechoto again, and he wrote that you need to have a Mesirut Nefesh in order to sit together with the Jews in Leil Shabbat. In the Noam Elimelech, he wrote that sitting together with the Jews in Sudash Lishit, Shalosh Sudash, as you say here, that's a great thing, it's a big thing. Even though when it is not really explained lengthily in Chazal, but still it's a divine thing. And in bringing that this is the Chidush, the new thing that Moshe bring when he went down from Har Sinai from the second time, begging Hashem to forgive us, and he came down and said, Vayakhel Moshe, he announced them that Hashem had peace with us, that when we are together, then we have a peace with Hashem. And then Nefashot Israel, Betzek Nefecha Yachsiyun. So that's the big thing, and hopefully this Shabbat, not that we're going to be together, but hopefully everybody is going to be happy when we are together, because it's Chodesh Adar, it's the second Adar, we have Purim, we have to be besimcha. So thank you very much for listening. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, and Freilichen Purim.
Shabbat Shalom.